Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited about today. This video actually took forever to, for one, record, and for two, edit and get everything together, just because all together in lapsed time that I got recorded, it was a little over 2.5 hours. And I will admit, you will see in the final picture that I did do some off-screen editing to the piece. Sometimes for me, I just kind of have to step away from the camera and actually do some just last minute tweaks. And I'm working on getting those like last minute tweaks on camera, but for now it's just kind of easier for me to just do those last minute little finishing touches to kind of add that nice little pop or whatever that I would normally miss filming when I go off camera. So a lot of times what I will do after I'm done filming is I'll kind of take a picture of it and take a step away from it. And looking at the picture kind of gives me a new way to visualize the piece that I'm working on. And it allows me to see, bless you, allows me to see things that I normally would miss or that I would want to highlight a little bit more, but couldn't see as I was filming or as I was drawing in general. And so that's where the kind of off-camera edits come into play, because a lot of times instead of resetting up my camera, resetting up everything, I just kind of do those last minute little tweaks off camera. So jumping into today's video, about 4 months ago now, I realized it's been a hot minute, forgive me, but I am always listening and your ideas are always in the back of my mind for all of you. But about 4 months ago, one of my subscribers named Nighttime had asked me on one of my videos if I could do a girl in a set of armor. And that is what I have done today. Now, this armor is absolutely inspired by Sibylline art on Instagram, and also 100% by Zendaya's Met Gala 2018 dress that she wore. Now granted, obviously I didn't turn this piece into a dress. I wanted it to be actual armor. So it's kind of a combination of looking at the artist that is on Instagram that I mentioned, and then looking at her dress and drawing ideas from both. And also I looked up, I think I Googled women in armor under Google Images to kind of just get some other inspiration from there as well, for little tidbits to kind of have an idea, obviously, because this isn't something that I've typically drawn in the past. So I also, when approaching this, had decided that I would do it in kind of the mindset of an Inktober piece. I knew I wanted to ink this more traditionally with a watercolor brush or a paintbrush and some Liquitex ink. I have the Liquitex Professional ink in transparent burnt sienna that I used for this entire piece. And so as I was going about this, like I had said, my plan was to ink using the liquid ink and a brush pen, and more so just do the outline and everything and then color it in from there separately. But as I was going, I decided that I would color in the full piece using this ink and just using various shades by either watering it down or using a thicker amount of, or a non-watered down variation of the ink itself, I should say. And kind of just see where I could take it, see what I could do with it, see how it turned out. And I actually really love the way that the color altogether kind of came to be. And the nice thing about it is it was kind of unexpected, and it was definitely a slow buildup, because there were times where I was looking at it and I was like, I'm not sure. And then I would add a little more here and there, or add a little more shading, or work on one part and kind of work on adding to it, and just kind of seeing it build and build and build. And really, when it came to the finished product, but before I did like the off-screen highlights, I was really happy with it. But at the same time, like I said, I felt like there was something that was missing. So I kind of just went in And this is the only time I actually changed the color and went with a different variation. I went with straight up just a black color, and I went in with a black Pigma micron and just added those little really dark accented areas. You know, I made her eyelashes black. I made her pupils actually black. And I was at first trying to kind of stick with doing all the very similar ink color, but it definitely, as soon as I added the little bit of black to kind of darken a lot of those places that needed it, it made it pop that much more, and it just, to me, made it look that much better. And it's one of those things where sometimes that's what you have to do. You kind of have to take a step back and reevaluate and then look and see where it goes. But it's one of those pieces that it took a lot of time because there's a lot of little details and stuff like that. But at the same time, like, is very gratifying when you're finished and the product comes together how you were hoping it would, or the piece comes together. And that's kind of just what it was for me. Is I was pretty hesitant before I even started inking. When I finished the sketch, I was like, I don't know, maybe I should redo the sketch, restart my video, see where it goes from there. But part of me was like, you know what, let's just go ahead and ink it and try and really finish it and see how it looks, and then make the decision if I'm going to start over or where I'm going to go. Especially because you'll notice, and I'm sure you saw at the beginning of this video, that as I'm sketching it, my original plan was to do her like one knee down and then obviously the other knee like up. So she's down on one knee, I guess would be the best way to describe it. But that was kind of my original thought process. And I had out my little figure doll and I was trying to kind of figure out how I wanted it to look. And as I was drawing it out, I think I got overly frustrated with myself. So it wasn't coming out how I had wanted. And I know that for me, if I would have kind of taken more time and like taken a step back after I started to get frustrated, that I probably could have continued with the pose that I had wanted. But because I was so like, I just want to go through this, get it done, see where it goes. Like, it definitely, I had to change up the pose in order to really be happy with it. And it's funny because, like I said, you know, if I would have stepped away when I started getting frustrated, I could have came back with a fresh mind in that sense. And looking back at it after I finished, I kind of had like a little pre-sketch off to the side of where I was practicing that pose. And the pre-sketch actually was coming out like really nice and looked really good. And I was like, you know, I could envision how I wanted the pose to be after I had completed the piece. And it's funny because that's sometimes just how it works. But anyways, I am so happy that you guys have joined me today, and I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much, as always, for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. See you later.